First of all, Jenna, welcome to the channel.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Now, like all great subjects, it's always certainly best to start from the beginning. So what first sparked your love for football?
I guess it was, besides basketball, was one of the first two sports I played. Starting off in prep, growing up in Tassie, not much else to do but to play sport. So, started young, and it was the one sport that stuck throughout primary school and high school. And getting to an older age, I realised that I was quite good at it, and thought I'd stick with it. And got to the age of 16 and started playing senior football, and that's how it went. So I think I started goalkeeping in grade 5 for regionals. So they just needed someone to jump in goals one day, and I jumped in and I was stuck. So that's how that all turned out. But yeah.
It has undoubtedly been a rather long journey for yourself arriving at South Melbourne. Can you take us through the path you've taken from arriving at Lakeside, from your initial introductions to league football, to moving to the Victorian NPLW?
Yeah, so I guess in terms of senior football, I only played 3 years in Tassie, so that was 2016, 2019, 2020. So 1 year for Ulverston up on the northwest coast, 2 for Olympia in Hobart, which is the sister club of South. And I also played 3 years of AFL, so played 2 years for Clarence and 1 year for Glenorchy. So I did play footy last year, but knew I was moving over for work and sport. So I saw the opportunity here at South to grow and become a better footballer. And so I contacted Sam sometime last year and just let him know I was coming over and if he was interested. And came over mid-January to start work. And, started pre-season and just started, growing from there, and things just started happening. And, I'm happy where I'm at now, and love the girls, love the club. Yeah.
Making a move in the state is undoubtedly a massive lifestyle change. How have you found your transition towards life in Melbourne to be like so far?
Yeah, I'm loving it. Living alone, which is good because I guess my place isn't the cleanest because of my lifestyle. I kind of get up, go to work, get home, go to training, and gym, get home, go to bed, and I do it all over again. So I'm loving that lifestyle of just being so engulfed in my work and my sport. So the transition's been pretty easy in that sense. Missing the family, but keeping so busy with my sporting commitments. I'm training now 3 nights a week, sometimes 4. And just, being with the girls mostly, it's like a second family. It always has been sport. That's why I love sport so much, is that you're almost spending more time with your teammates than you are with your family sometimes. So, so it's been good.
Are there many things you miss about life in Tassie as opposed to life in the original and still the rightful capital of Australia?
I don't know if, obviously the biggest thing is family. That's the biggest thing I miss. I grew up with not a huge tight family in terms of outside my mum, my dad, my sister, and my auntie. So they're the they're my roots. They're the 4 closest people to me. So it's really hard being away from them, but they want the best from me. So it is what it is. Look, I don't miss the weather. The weather here is pretty shocking as well. So the lifestyle in Tassie, it's a bit of an interesting one. It's a lot more fast paced here, I must admit. I do sometimes get a bit tired and drained living over here. But I think the positives of being in Melbourne far outweigh the positives of staying in Tassie, that's for sure.
Do you believe you have met many of your pre-season goals so far for the 2022 campaign?
I have. I wrote a few goals down going into the season. One was obviously, getting a clean sheet under my belt. So got 3 or 4 of those now, which is really nice. The other one's obviously to make finals. So I think now that we've got those wins, we're now on track to meet that goal. So I think, starting off was a little bit rough. I was finding my feet. We're gelling together as a team, but I think now coming into that mid-season form, I think we're starting to get going, which is really nice. So.
As a goalkeeper, you obviously have greater expectations in terms of needing to perform on the day.
Yeah.
How do you deal with those pressures, and what would you recommend for younger goalkeepers trying to combat such?
Yeah, look, I can't say I'm all the time great at it, but I think this year one of my biggest goals and one of the biggest things I've been working on is my mindfulness. And I've read a lot of books, and I've done, shout out to Inner Games Journal, I've started journaling. I think it's super important to get in a mindful state when you're playing, because it's so easy to think about the future and think about the goals you might let in, or if a goal goes in, thinking about that over and over after it's gone in. You need to stay in the present. So that's probably a good advice for a young keeper, is to, no matter what happens during the game, like, you just got to stay in that present moment and keep going. And even if you make a mistake, you learn from it, and that's the beauty of mistakes, I guess, is that it's a learning curve.
Now, goalkeeping is without a doubt a far more specialised role within football compared to positions due to the uniqueness of being a keeper.
Yeah.
Can you take us through what is required of yourself in comparison to the remainder of the squad?
Definitely not as fit, but I guess it's a lot of things. Obviously, I've got to be better with my hands, but it's also, now this day and age, it's equally as important to be good with your feet as a keeper as with your hands. It's a lot more technical in terms of what to do in certain situations, where to position yourself during certain parts of the games. It's a lot more, I guess, individualised in that sense, is that you can watch yourself back and you can know if you're doing things right or wrong. Obviously, you've got to be good at reaction times, got to be explosive, making sure I'm that type of thing. Yeah, just making sure I'm clean with my hands, and it's definitely a lot different, but there are some facets that are the same.
Considering we're now in June, 2022 has blended the team with a number of hiccups. Do you believe we have collectively overcome those hiccups, and whereabouts do you think 2022 will end for South Melbourne?
I definitely think we've overcome the hiccups. Like at the start, you got to remember that I think our average age of our team is somewhere around 20, 19, 18. Like, we're such a young group, and with that is inexperience. With that is, not playing with each other ever before. It takes time to gel, and I think now that we've got those wins under our belt and we've got those performances under our belt, that we're now a collective group and we know where we want to be. We know what we're doing on the pitch, and I think that from the hiccups at the start of the season were actually a good learning curve to where we are now, and it's helped us grow. So, I think we're far better off now than we were at the start of the season, that's for sure.
Given these hiccups, there has obviously been some tough moments this year. What do you think has been most influential in bringing about our current run of good form?
I guess it's a lot of things. Like, you don't see what happens, off the pitch. Like, a lot of hours has been put in to, especially by the leadership group, but not just the leadership group, every player, of to what was going wrong and what can we do to fix it. And I think we did. We spent a lot of time trying to figure that out, and we tried some different things on the field and just try to figure out what worked. And it's a tough one. I just think, it got to a point where our team culture kind of grew as well. And as that grows, and as you grow as an individual, obviously you're going to start putting performances on the park.
As someone with competitive experience in an alternative code of football, how do you think having played Aussie rules at a competitive level has bettered your game as a footballer?
It definitely does help, especially as a keeper. It helps with many facets, like fitness is one. Explosiveness. Playing footy, you've got to be super explosive when you're going for the ball. Obviously, it's a different ball shape, but still it does help you. Like, ground balls, getting your hands low, and like kicking it, like when you have it in your hands in soccer, like I do that with footy. So there are, especially with goalkeepers, there's a lot of overlap, which is really nice, and it also helps with some aggressiveness and a bit of grunt that you need for footy that you obviously probably wouldn't have as a keeper growing up. Keepers can, especially female keepers, I find, like, not being with not saying about anyone, but like sometimes growing up you'd be a bit timid as a keeper, being a young girl. So I think getting into that footy environment definitely toughens you up a little bit.
How important would you say having talent representation behind yourself is as a player, and what would you say to young athletes who may be on the verge of gaining such representation?
Talent representation.
Yes.
So just like,
as in sports management.
With kick. Yeah. it was a blessing, getting signed by Kick. I wasn't at all seeking it out. I was just seeing what was happening this season. But credit to Sam and to setting me up with Kick. It's definitely helped me grow, not only on the pitch but off the pitch. Getting those contacts and having a group of girls, and especially at South where we have a lot of Kick talent at South. It's definitely made me feel more home in Victoria than it would be if I was just playing for South. That's for sure.
Alongside having talent representation, you're also one of a number of players that has a degree of sponsorship from sportswear companies. Just how beneficial do you believe such arrangements are as a player, generally speaking?
It definitely helps out financially. Obviously, being a female footballer, we don't get the financial support as men do. So definitely getting those discounts or those free items and sponsorships from clothing, or whether it's boots or shin pads or grip socks, it always goes a long way in helping us perform better. So yeah, I'm very grateful to One Glove for giving me those discounts and helping me perform better. That's for sure.
Do you consider yourself to be particularly ambitious in terms of your sporting career? And if so, what are those ambitions?
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely... A-League is definitely one of my, dreams going into the future. But again, I'm just trying to stay present, stay in the moment, and just see what happens at the end of this season. I didn't have any big expectations coming into this year. I just wanted to learn and grow, and getting, signed by Kick and getting, the number one spot here at South has definitely aspire my dreams to go even further and see how far I can go. But I'm also, mindful of just where we want to be as a team at the end of the season. That's my main goal.
What would you consider to be your greatest sports... Start that again. What would you consider to be your greatest passions beyond sport?
I have too many. Obviously, I'm an engineer by trade, so I love maths and, my day job. I do really enjoy my day job, and it's a great escape from sport. Obviously, I do a bit of singing. I like to draw and write and read and all those kind of creative things. So, and I do like to gym as well and hang out with mates. Just a bit of everything. Sometimes I can't fit it all in, but it's always nice having things outside of sport. That's for sure.
If you had the means, would you like to take any of those other passions further alongside your sporting endeavours?
Yeah, for sure. Like if those opportunities arise, I'm definitely... I have chosen, sport over those passions, definitely in the past. But that's not to say the door's always closed for those passions. But yeah, my focus this year definitely is my work and my sport.
Moving towards a less serious note, as we've entered the heart of winter down in Melbourne, some of us are more naturally suited to the bitter conditions than others.
Yeah.
Because of this, as a Tasmanian, do you believe the complaints of Victorians about the cold are well founded, or do you have little to no sympathy towards the whining coffee addicts that are Melburnians?
It's driving me up the wall. I always say to the girls at training, I'm like, it's not cold. It's not. Like, go live in Hobart for a year and see how you find the cold. No, it is granted. There have been some bitter days this winter, like so far, I must admit, but I'm definitely not feeling it as much as I have been in Tassie. It has been a bit windier here for sure, but no, I think it does definitely get a bit colder down south. So yeah, no sympathy.
Modern technology certainly allows us to overcome a great many of issues affecting global society. One such technology is the ability to theoretically grow any sort of meat from a base genetic product. So, if you had the money to order such, what sort of grown meat would you have in your steak sandwich?
So like just... So like growing a meat just from
anything.
Oh, obviously, as much I try not to eat meat where possible. So anything plant-based is always good. So I'm always one for, if we can grow stuff genetically and not use animals, then yeah, let's do it from soil or grass or trees. Something plant-based for sure. Yeah.
So no penguin sarnies then?
No. Let's stick with, yeah. We'll just go with, let's say trees, final answer, lock it in.
While not always as juicy as a sandwich, the English language can provide Anglophones with exceptional layers of flavour. So, on that flavoursome note, Jenna Farrow, what is your favourite swear word?
Oh, isn't this a good one? I had a chat with the girls on the socials when you asked Grace this. I'm also not going to swear. Look, there's a lot of good ones. Being Tasmanian, there's a lot of swearing goes down there. The one I would like to say, my mum would kill me if I said it, so I will not. But let's just say it's see you. Tuesday. Love you, Mum. Yeah, we'll go, lock it in.
Well, Jenna, thank you for joining us.
No stress.